mystery after midnight.
Have you ever noticed how quiet the streets of London become after midnight? When the traffic disappears, the streetlights flicker softly, and the city feels strangely empty. Most people think the scariest part of the night is the darkness, but sometimes the real horror is realizing you are not alone, even when you should be. There is an old road in North London that many bus drivers avoid after midnight. At first, people believed it was just another creepy rumor, a story told between tired drivers during long night shifts. But over the years, too many people reported the same strange experience, a silent passenger appearing on the bus, even when no one was waiting at the stop. And the most disturbing part, that passenger has been dead for more than 20 years. It was a cold November night in London. Rain was falling slowly, covering the empty streets in a thin layer of fog. Late-night buses were still running, but there were very few passengers left. One bus was traveling through a quiet part of North London. The route was old and rarely used during the night. The bus stopped at a small station beside an empty road. Outside, there was nothing. No cars, no pedestrians, only a dim streetlight and falling rain. After a few seconds, the bus continued its route, but only minutes later, something strange happened. A passenger was sitting near the back of the bus. The strange thing was, no one remembered seeing him get on. The man sat perfectly still. He wore a long dark coat and a hat that covered most of his face. At first, nothing seemed unusual. Late-night buses often carried quiet passengers, but as time passed, something about the man felt wrong. He never moved, he never looked up, and he never left his seat. The bus continued moving through empty streets. One by one, the remaining passengers got off. Eventually, only the driver, the conductor, and the silent passenger remained. The silence inside the bus slowly became uncomfortable. Even the sound of rain against the windows felt louder than before. When the conductor finally walked toward the back of the bus, he noticed something strange. The air around the passenger felt unusually cold, almost freezing. The man slowly lifted his head. For a brief moment, his face became visible. His skin looked pale, not just pale from the cold, but pale in a way that didn't look alive. And then, something impossible happened. When the conductor looked back again, the seat was empty. The passenger had disappeared. The bus had not stopped. The doors had not opened. There was simply no way anyone could have left. Yet the man was gone. The next day, the conductor decided to search for information about that road. What he discovered made the situation even more disturbing. 20 years earlier, a terrible accident had happened near an old bridge on that same route. A late-night bus crashed during heavy rain. Several passengers died instantly. Among them was an elderly man sitting in the back seat. Witnesses from that night reported something strange. Before the accident happened, that same passenger had been sitting silently in the back, wearing a long dark coat and staring quietly toward the front of the bus. Since that night, many drivers have reported seeing the same figure, a silent passenger, appearing suddenly, sitting quietly in the back seat, and disappearing without a trace. No one knows why the figure returns, but some drivers believe one thing: the passenger is still waiting for the bus that will finally take him back to the place where his journey ended. So if you ever find yourself on a late-night bus in London and you notice someone sitting quietly in the back seat, you might want to look twice, because some passengers were never meant to be on that bus again.